So in the final row here, so past, present, future, mind, body, spirit, strength, struggle, advice. So our strength is that we are tuning in, we are receiving messages of, when we have anxiety, it's that we actually are getting a message from our intuition that there's something within us that needs to be adjusted a bit. And the Ace of Wands in reverse is, that inspiration from source. That feeling is that feeling inside us to get rid of a outdated belief or modality that isn't serving us any longer, like trying to fix situations or do all the work around the house or at work for people. It's a pretty good angle. And you definitely have some strength in seeing that, because you are looking for a reading that's in a sense a step towards that clarity of the desire to know what's going on. And out of nourishing ourselves, and when we can write this energy of in our mind feeling a bit buried by our own desires, we know we can feel joyful and appreciated and gratitude and for all these things that we have in our life. And just sometimes we get stuck in the mundanity, Knight of Pentacles reversed, of everyday life, because we lose track of that inner vision, and that sense of being an our inner child, which is playful with life and happy to try new things, new experiences, and interject passion and spontaneity into their daily routine. Because the universe is big enough to fulfill our every intent, and is the contrast that puts eternalness and eternity. We get next to this Seven of Wands, we have that as a contrast that puts eternalness and eternity, and they're even sharing some color scheme here. And that orange energy behind her representing her solar plexus, her sacral plexus, or a sacral chakra, which is right in your navel, where you're connected to your higher power, your ancestors, your connection to source, where literally how you were born into this world, your navel. It is that fulcrum of choice to choose your battles and to grow where you're planted, but also establish the boundaries for in which you'll grow. And the struggles position, Seven of Swords, we've definitely come out of a couple of years and perhaps weeks recently of battling some emotions and thoughts, and definitely these last couple of years, perhaps even have felt a bit of a struggle, but we're ready to face what's ahead of us. And luck is on our side. When we can leave those struggles in the past and live in the present, recognizing that there's always going to be more contrast, and that if we seek connection with ourselves and joy, we can step forward into those next challenges, Seven of Swords, and feel nourished by those around us and have an uprighted sense of connection and spirituality. The advice, the Eight of Cups and the reversed position, is to get more Cups deals with our emotions, and our insight, the purple in the card, is speaking to our inner vision and improving our insight. The number 8 represents the world and the natural changes of things. Where are you, Cups? The fear of missing out is keeping you stagnant, paralyzing you from moving forward with the options that you have. Weigh the pros and cons and make a decision. Decide which option is most emotionally fulfilling to you, and trust that the universe will meet you at your point of action. Just like in the Seven of Swords, there's 2 points, 2 swords, 2 thoughts, ideas that are facing us, and we just have to decide a point of action which we're going to address first. And the same goes with like chores and stuff. Like, make a list of what you need to do, and maybe, or just even a mental list, and say, well, I'm going to do a little bit of this today, and tomorrow I'll get to that, the next day I'll get to that, and by the end of the week it's all done. And you know, at least for your own sense of self, that it's all good, because it'll all get done and it'll work out. Decide which option is most emotionally fulfilling for you, and trust that the universe will meet you at your point of action. You have a tendency to escape, the easiest way to deal with uncomfortable situations. Avoidance can lead you to walking aimlessly, eventually realizing that your lack of commitment is delaying your desire to find a place of belonging and acceptance. Even if that means you're walking away from what you currently have for a fresh start. Open your heart and commit to love and intimacy that you deserve, so that you are able to receive it. And again, that speaks to nourishing ourselves. With that sun energy, this sunflower on the orange card, and the Queen of Wands, who's nourished by her connection to her own spirit, and has surpassed those challenges in her life, the Devil card, by scanning her body and learning to go within, which further improves our vision, indigo, and the way in which we create our reality, which is through our vision, or our visual cortex vibrations that we send out there, and that are interpreted back through that same visual cortex. On the flip side of the Eight of Cups, that kind of maybe feeling stuck energy, because we've perhaps been brooding over a financial situation, the pole barn and such, and work, and how that's panning out for you. We've strived to get to this point on your path, and you're feeling a little unfulfilled. And that's easy to, like, we've been taking steps, we've been moving along, and again, contrast comes up, and it's sometimes easier for us to just want to, like, avoid at that point, because it's like, well, what's the sense of continuing, but that's the joy, and the other end of it is that you have an opportunity to take your own power in the situation and establish boundaries and choose your thoughts wisely and pick your battles and receive the insight that's best for our inner being. And this Princess of Swords next to Nourish Yourself and the Ace of Wands and the Strength position is the strength of, or gaining strength to move forward with our thoughts and gain total mental clarity over our position, so that we may choose Seven of Cups next to it, what it is out of our gifts and the cups of love in our life we'd like to drink out of most. So even though we may not be able to do it all at once, and typically we can't, our abilities and our gifts are always there for us to utilize. And when we can use our insight to transform, to transmute the situation, any sort of heartbreak, Three of Swords, or continual thoughts that pierce our sense of love and self-being, generally self-inflicted, but sometimes and often inflicted by others. However, it's held on. We choose how to hold, whether we're going to hold on to those thoughts or bend them, because swords are malleable. They can be heated and transformed, and just like our thoughts, they can be changed, and we can direct them towards clarity and decisions that serve us. You decide to stand for yourself and your happiness. It's like establishing boundaries and embracing those that give you love and compassion in your time of need. And comfort and material and physical needs aren't quite cutting it anymore. You're looking for a deeper connection with your purpose in life. Constant striving and achievement leaves you running on empty, neglecting yourself in the process. You're in the mood for introspection, discovering how to best implement your plans in nourishing ways. Appreciate your journey so far in this transition period. You're ready to move past being comfortable and start feeding your soul. So that's the energy that I'd like you to create in order to move forward in this feeling of anxiousness around wanting to do everything, because I totally get it. Like, sometimes we just feel like the only way things are going to get done is if we do it all ourselves. But if we step back and have an ulterior point of view, we see that, everyone plays a role, and we can be playful in this journey, Knight of Wands, and not be afraid to step forward with our passion and pleasure and power to speak about what we want and stand up for what we believe in, but also to be playful with the contrast and let it temper us to have self-control in situations and come from a place of love and understanding. And trust that you're strong enough to survive. Again, with the Three of Swords, between mental clarity and nourishing yourself, and this card of since you're here on Earth, you understand how buildings are built. Yes, a good solid foundation and flexibility too. Like I said, swords can be flexible, and so can our heart. And sometimes we think that they're a solid entity when they're pierced by heartbreak and rejection and pain, but just know that you can nourish yourself. And yes, you're probably the one that is going to need to heal you, but at the end of that, you're going to feel so amazing for having done it. And that will give you the power that you've been looking for. Most painful lessons define our strength of character. Use this powerful emotion as fuel. Cry it out if you need to. Like I said, have a nice cry. Smash something, punch your pillow, anything that will help you release these strong emotions. You'll feel better once you allow yourself to lean into it, scan your body, and lean into the discomfort and fully feel the pain. I'm gonna go to Knight of Wands here. Like I said, the Knight of Wands coming up. So we're getting over doing all the work ourselves, and in this journey to become the Queen of Wands, someone who has mastered her sense of self-worth through getting in touch with her spirituality and her personal power and her inner vision by nourishing herself and being playful and appreciating beautiful things, can move into, we get there by being a bit of a risk taker, by forging forward, and you can, with speed, can free you from second guessing your actions. So if there's something you've been stuck and ruminating about, forging forward can free you from second guessing. Although you may not know what is next, the Knight of Wands encourages you to swiftly move forward, be up for the adventure, and see what's next. So you may be asked, even in this, take the time that you need and to cry it out and go within, because I see in the future here, is there going to be a call to be passionate on this path and be fully committed to, like you said, establishing your boundaries and sticking up for yourself, but choosing your battles, and not bringing some spontaneity to your routine and your life, and change it up with, like I said, some yoga or some meditation, or dancing by the fire, I don't know. Just anything, or go on a jog with your boys, perhaps, or I don't know, whatever makes you feel good. Just be up for an adventure and see what is next. That's coming after that. The Temperance card is a wonderful card. The Temperance card is about transformation, and it also is related to the Sagittarius. It's about balance and patience and synergy. Balance is in the center of your palace. Instead of rushing to make your goals happen, you tactfully building foundation step by step. You value synergy and are choosing situations that are free from anxiety and stress. And coming up under this First I Seek Joy and All Else Follows cards. So sense your feeling of joy is indication of your connection to Source, your connection to your inner vision for your life. Once you have achieved joy, you achieve connection with your Source. And under these circumstances, all that is good follows. So by building a solid foundation of nourishing ourselves and healthy boundaries, by embracing those who love us and nourish us as well, and the places that where we feel nourished and loved, that is where we want to grow. And those are the people that we want to stand up for, as well as ourselves, from a place of love. And when we do that, no matter what drama is going on around you, you're taking the high road because you've realized that you cannot control external circumstances. However, you can control how you react to them. This is like a perfect card for this whole reading. No matter... This is a time of great synergy, when things are falling into place because of harmonious balance that you've created for yourself. And it also speaks to writing up the Eight of Cups, even though it came up in reverse position. It's an opportunity to be fearless and create synergy and allow things to fall into place, and to recognize between your inner and your outer self, the awareness that fuels your creativity, that will leave you feeling satisfied in the process. Like, basically the whole, reading said, get out there and have some fun, like, have some childlike energy to your, interject some childlike energy into your day. And, I pick up this other deck, and the bottom card is also Temperance. So Spirit is just asking you to, realize that you may be in a cocoon moment at the moment, and we're waiting to spread our wings and fly, and kind of at this precipice of deciding what's good for us and leaning into that. And when we pay attention to those things, and not worry about trying to fix everyone else's point of projection or present placements, sense of being or feeling, because we're not here to feel other people's emotions for them, but we can nourish others when we come from a place of self-love and healing. Because you can't love others if we don't love ourselves first. And I just was called to pick up the bottom of the deck. So the underlying energy is Nine of Swords, and the Nine of Swords basically says, like, we're the only ones, our thoughts are the only things holding us down. And in order to release that, like I said, we have all this whole process of scanning our body, allowing ourselves to go within and scale these challenges, the thoughts that are weighing us down, essentially, because we're the only ones holding ourselves back, and allow ourselves to break out of this cocoon and transform into someone that creates furiously, that creates from a place of joy, and that's able to pass the love back and forth. So it's just work a little bit every day to create a healthier routine for yourself, and I promise you'll get feeling better. And if you can, start meditating, because it'll help too. Love you. Take care.